They decided to put a puppy into a cheetah's cage, not knowing what to expect. Animal caretakers of US Zoo have recently brought a litter of small puppies to the cheetah's enclosure and left them there to live. Looking at it, one could expect the worst. But things aren't always as they seem. In fact, this is an intentional move by the zookeepers, which was supposed to relieve the big cats were suffering from loneliness. This kind of story happened to Kumbali, a cheetah cub born on May 12, 2015, at the Metro Richmond Zoo. Unlike his siblings, Kumbali was born very weak. His siblings hurt him, and he kept losing weight and becoming weaker daily. This little animal could have succumbed if it wasn't for the concern of the zookeepers, who decided to take decisive measures. They understood that the cub's life was hanging by a thread. And so they took him away from his mother to be bottle-fed. Over time the cub gained strength and could feed on its own. Later, Kumbali was returned to his family's enclosure. But unfortunately, as it often happens in the animal world, the family rejected him. It was a difficult time for Kumbali. And even though he was already physically healthy and very active, it was clear that he was missing something. He felt abandoned and depressed. Kumbali was obviously suffering from loneliness. The caretakers could no longer endure this heartbreaking sight and came to his rescue again. They decided that since his family rejected him, he needed a companion. But, finding a friend for the cheetah turned out to be a challenge. Somehow, they managed to find a perfect friend for Kumbali. Kago was a rescue puppy adopted from an animal shelter. He was saved from being put down. Despite his young age, the poor puppy had already endured many hardships. However, when animal rights activists discovered the place, they took the animals to new shelters and started looking for new loving owners for them. That's how the zoo employees found Kago. The playful puppy was perfect for the role of Kumbali's companion, and he was of the same age. However, no one knew for sure if they would like each other and make friends or if nothing would come of it. Their first meeting was very exciting. When Kumbali and Kago saw each other, they were quite timid. They looked at each other with apprehension and certain distrust. However, a real miracle happened very soon. Kago slowly walked towards him. Kumbali sniffed him. And a moment later, it was clear that he liked Kumbali. He started pouncing and biting the baby cheetah, who in turn couldn't understand what was happening, and why this creature was dragging his tail with his teeth. At first, the little cheetah was baffled by the sight of this new creature in front of him. But soon, he also began to show interest in the dog, thereby proving, once again, that dogs are the best companions to anyone. However, the zoo employees couldn't even imagine the friendship between the two different species. Nobody expected what this friendship would result in. Over time, Kumbali simply refused to leave his new friend's side, and they even had to be put together in one enclosure. Their brotherly bond grew stronger and stronger every day. Zoo visitors adored their games of hide and seek and tag. Kago always protected his wild brother, while Kumbali, despite being a predator, let his friend eat first, patiently waiting for his turn. It seemed the two were unaware that they were in the zoo. They became truly inseparable, sleeping together and giving each other hugs all the time. Every year zoo workers give them presents since their birthdays are on the same day now. In the years that they spent together, their relationship developed into something more than just friendship. Watching the happy buddies is a true pleasure, and they've already become the informal face of the zoo. Eventually, penguins had moved into the neighboring enclosure, and they weren't to be messed with. Initially, they all watched each other with apprehension, but when the caretakers allowed Kago and Kumbali to visit their new neighbors, something incredible happened. In the first seconds of this encounter, the penguins pecked at their visitors, but they soon began playing with them, each in their own way. It's been a while since these two animals met, But the cheetah and the dog continued living in the same enclosure and enjoying every new day. From the very beginning, their lives have been connected. Although they couldn't be more different, they still became inseparable friends. Perhaps we could have something to learn from them.